Hello guys, well the season is underway now and already the process of scapegoating has begun. After Arsenal's thrilling 4-3 win over Leicester, I had plenty of people tweeting me about the performance of Rob Holding. Let's talk about Rob Holding. Look, he did not have his best game against Leicester. I actually don't think he had a particularly good game against Chelsea either in the Community Shield. I put that down to a little bit of rustiness. He came back late with the under-21s, after being with the under-21s for international duty. But he wasn't at his composed best at Wembley, and nor at Leicester, where Jamie Vardy gave him an absolutely torrid time, pulling onto him regularly, testing his pace, making him go out into the channels where he can play, but he's far more comfortable in central areas than in the channels naturally as a big guy. And also they put him under pressure when he was in possession. They forced him to play the ball. And he is a competent footballer, but I think his confidence was not quite what it has been, and that showed in his distribution too. And some people are saying that this is a case of Rob Holding returning to the mean, if you will, to showing his true colours. Maybe he's not quite the player we got so excited about last season. And I think there is, I don't know if there's merit in that, but I think that sometimes the contribution of one player can be overstated. I mean, let's not forget, it was last season, I think we went 21 games unbeaten with Shkodran Mustafi in the side. But no one's leaping to any conclusions about him being some top-class defender. Yes, Holding was important in the switch to the back three. Yes, he took a full part in those 10 wins from 11 between the Middlesbrough game and the end of the season. He was very, very much a part of that, but it wasn't entirely down to him. The change in system and the performances of other players also played their part. Nevertheless, this is a player that I remain very excited about, and a player that I think Arsenal need to keep faith with, the fans need to keep faith with, and show some perseverance with. I understand the fears of Arsenal fans who've seen Philippe Senderos, Yoann Djourou, Callum Chambers, I'm sure there are others, young promising centre-halves who started very brightly and then faded. You fear for centre-halves in the Arsenal set-up. You feel like they don't get as much coaching maybe as they do at other clubs. Maybe there's less emphasis on the technique of defending than there might be with some other teams, the pure strategic, tactical elements of it. But Holding is a talent worth persisting with because he has something special. It was obvious from the first moment he played from us in pre-season, having signed from Bolton Wanderers. He immediately looked at home with a big club like Arsenal. He has such poise on the ball, such elegance. He remains unflappable, almost whatever the circumstances. I remember that first game of last season against Liverpool. He and Callum Chambers played at centre-half. Chambers was the more experienced, the more expensive, the more senior, and yet it was Holding who shone. And Chambers, who ended up leaving on loan and may now leave permanently, probably partly as a consequence of Holding's arrival. Why is he not performing quite at the level he was last season? Well, young players experience dips. Look at Alex Iwobi, broke into the side, shone. Last season was tricky for him, but he's had a very strong pre-season and will be hoping to push on again this year. I think even Hector Bellerin, arguably, he's experiencing something of a dip himself. Sometimes fitness is a part of it. More often than not, it's confidence. And maybe Holding's lacking a little bit of confidence. It's telling that for the majority of the game against Chelsea, and for the entirety of the game against Leicester, he had Nacho Monreal inside him, not a Mertesacker, a Mustafi, a Koscielny, not someone who is a hardened, experienced centre-half who knows the intricacies of that position. Holding inevitably is going to be better when he's got that kind of support. I think the Stoke game's coming up, and I would be tempted to keep Holding in there. I know people will be saying maybe take him out, maybe give him a break from the team, but he's tall, he's good in the air, that's useful to us at set pieces, and I think you've got to protect his confidence. I think if you take him out now and don't bring him back in for a few weeks, you run the risk of his self-esteem, his belief in himself diminishing. We've seen Chambers go down that path. We don't want Holding to go the same way. Arsenal have got a really exciting young defender on their hands. It's not often you see fans getting so excited about a defensive prospect. It's because Holding has some fantastic attributes. Yes, he's had a couple of slightly dodgy games, but that is no reason to discard him. Let's not forget, it was only a few competitive games ago he was playing a crucial role in the FA Cup final win over Chelsea. So I don't think anyone should overreact over Holding, and I'd probably be minded to keep him in the team for now. What we do in the longer term with centre-half is a different question. We probably will need something there because next season Mertesacker's not going to be around. Koscielny's going to be older. Holding won't be ready to take the reins of leading the defence permanently at that point. So we might need a defensive leader to play alongside Holding and Mustafi, because Mustafi's not really ready to be that guy either. From next year, that's something for Arsene Wenger to think about, maybe. Anyway, keep the faith in Rob Holding and do subscribe. Cheers, guys.